The city thrums. It's a beast of noise, always hungry. Car horns gnashing. Voices overlapping like tangled vines. Screens flickering with endless demands. But slip past its edges, past the smoke and the scramble, and there's a forest. Ancient, patient. Its trees have seen princes and paupers, storms and stillness. Listen close, and they'll tell you a story about a man who arrived with nothing but hunger, not for bread, but for answers. He came alone. No jewels, no silks, just feet cracked from wandering. The forest knew him before he knew himself. Once, he'd slept on pillows softer than clouds, surrounded by laughter that rang hollow. Palaces, he learned, are cages draped in gold. So he fled. For 6 years, he starved. He knelt on river rocks until his bones sank with pain, chasing enlightenment like a beggar chasing coins. 5 monks trailed him, convinced suffering was the key. They whispered, "This is the way," until the day he ate. A simple bowl of rice, offered by a girl with dirt under her nails. The monks left, spitting failure like a curse. Alone again. The forest watched. It breathed with him as he sat beneath the body tree, roots cradling his hips. Darkness crept in, sticky as tar. Memories taunted, his father's pleading, his wife's face, the child he'd never held. "You're abandoning them," the shadows hissed. "You're weak." His hands trembled. But this time, he didn't fight. He let the storm rage, let it claw at his ribs, until there was nothing left to tear. And in that emptiness, a flicker. Not a God's voice, but his own, steady as a drumbeat. Enough. Dawn came. The man opened his eyes. Not a prince, not a monk, but something new. The Buddha, they'd call him later. The awakened one. The forest remembers how he laughed, a sound like wind through leaves. He'd found it, the middle path. Not luxury or punishment, but balance. A truth as simple as breath. To live is to feel, but not to drown. You felt it too, haven't you? That itch under your skin when the room empties. The dread that creeps in with silence. We scroll, we cling, we crowd our lives with noise, anything to outrun the quiet. But solitude isn't a curse. It's a mirror. Stare long enough, and it'll show you what you're running from. Take Mara, the demon who haunted Buddha's night. He wasn't a monster with fangs. He was doubt, fear, loneliness. We all have a Mara. Yours might whisper, "You're not enough," as you lie awake at 3 a.m. It might coil in your chest during a silent dinner, screaming, "This is all there is." But here's the secret Buddha learned. Mara only wins if you let him starve you. Feed him stillness instead. A man once told me he hated weekends. His apartment felt like a tomb. So he bought a fern. "It's dumb," he said, but he watered it, learned its leaves curled when thirsty. Now, his Saturdays are for repotting, not ruminating. Small, sure, but that's how light slips in, through cracks you carve yourself. Another woman I knew filled her loneliness with voices. Podcasts, audiobooks, YouTube rants. Silence terrified her. Then her phone broke. For 3 days, she heard nothing but her own breath. "I cried," she said. "Then I heard birds. Real ones. I'd forgotten their songs weren't just ringtones." The Buddha didn't need a forest to wake up. He needed to stop running, to sit in the mess of his human heart and say, "Show me." That's the alchemy. Turning solitude from a cage into a crucible. Burn away the noise, and what's left? You. Not the you shaped by likes and deadlines, but the one that existed before the world got its hands on you. Let's try it. Tonight, leave your phone in another room. Sit, even for 5 minutes. At first, it'll ache. Thoughts will crash like bad actors. Did I pay the rent? Why did she say that? What if I die alone? Let them. Then imagine each thought as a leaf floating down a river. Watch. Don't jump in. Your job isn't to fix or fight. Just breathe. The forest knows this dance. Seasons trash its floor with dead things, rotten fruit, fallen nests. But decay becomes soil. Soil feeds roots. Roots climb toward sun. It's never wasted, only transformed. That's the gift Buddha left under his tree. Not some grand secret, but a choice. Let loneliness fester, or let it fertilize. Build a life that needs crowds to feel alive, or dig your hands into the dirt of your own soul. Plant something. Tend it. You'll still hurt. You'll still crave. But one day, you might find yourself laughing at nothing. Your chest full with the quiet joy of a man who once sat alone and discovered he never was. A boy sits on a fire escape in a building choked with sirens. His mother works nights. He counts stars through smog, names them after characters in his dog-eared comic books. He doesn't know it yet, but this is his Bodhi tree. A girl walks a shoreline at dawn, pockets full of sea glass. She's unemployed, heartbroken, but the waves keep time with her pulse. This is her middle path. We think enlightenment is for monks, saints, people with quiet lives. But it's here, in the clatter of dishes after everyone leaves the party, in the elevator ride where no one hits a button, in the pause before you unlock your front door alone again. The Buddha story isn't about a man who escaped the world. It's about a man who stopped escaping himself. His palace wasn't just a place. It was the lie that happiness lives outside us, in things, in people, in achievements. His forest wasn't just trees. It was the courage to stop and ask, what if I'm already here? What if this is enough? Your loneliness is a teacher. It doesn't speak in lectures. It hums, low, insistent, like a refrigerator in a dark kitchen, annoying until you realize it's keeping something alive. So let it hum. Sit with it. Not forever, but long enough to hear the tune beneath the noise. Maybe it's a song you forgot you knew. A rhythm older than your fears. The city thrashes. The forest stands. And you're neither. You're the space between, the breath after a question, the quiet where answers grow. Alone isn't empty. It's alive. If this story inspired you, subscribe to the channel for more Buddhist wisdom.